How's it going? So we're here with Marvel Legendary. We're at the Upper Deck booth. And I guess I want to show you guys the game a little bit, give you an overview, and kind of tell you what's going on. So Marvel Legendary is a deck building game at its core. So there's a lot of fundamentals that are going to be familiar to other games or other players of deck building games and players of card games in general. Legendary, though, is a bit different in terms of there's some unique points to this game that don't exist in any other game. One of which is we have a Mastermind. And the Mastermind is really the guy or girl that we are playing against as players in the game. As the heroes in the game, we are playing against the game itself. The game can actually win and defeat all the players, which is something that's a little bit different right now. I haven't seen it in too many other games, and I'm really happy about that unique feature. Every good, and we call this our Mastermind, obviously, every good Mastermind in any comic universe I've ever read about has what is called a scheme, and they always got something up their sleeve. So we have a scheme in our game, and essentially this is the comic book counterpart to like what the Mastermind does. The reason I say comic book is because the scheme really sets the tone for what's going on in the game. It's kind of like when you open up a comic book and you see the first page, it really sets a tone. Our scheme does exactly that. It sets win conditions, it sets lose conditions for the players, it tells you what's going on when certain cards appear out of the game. So that's kind of an overview of what the game is, but the question is, how do the players win? Players win, it's very simple. You have to defeat the Mastermind 4 times. Once we defeat the Mastermind 4 times, everyone at the table wins. If the evil wins condition happens before we beat the Mastermind 4 times, we all lose. So the goal is to really knock this guy out. And Apocalypse, I'm going to be honest with you, he's a badass. So he's pretty tough. But the way we actually accomplish that goal is by recruiting heroes. And we have heroes lined up here in the HQ. I've set out some to show you guys. But the way we do that is we use recruit points. And everybody in the game starts with the exact same small hand of cards. And those hands are basically this, what I'm showing you here. We have some shield agents and we have some shield officers, right? The agents have 1 recruit point, and recruit points are our currency in this game. We use them to recruit bigger named heroes that we're all familiar with, like Wolverine, Forge, Colossus. We have a bunch other in the game right now. These are just ones I put out to show you. So if you have like 5 recruit points here, I could recruit a hero that costs 5 or less, and the cost is shown right here by that big giant coin. That's our cost. So if I have 5, I could recruit basically anything on this board. But the cool thing is, I could recruit a Wolverine. I could also, since I have 1 left over at that point, I could like recruit something that costs 1. So I'd be able to actually recruit both of these. However, in the actual order of play, I would recruit this, reveal another hero immediately to see what else comes out, and then I would say, here's my 1, I'll take it. Now I'll recruit that, or then I replace it with that guy right there. So that's kind of how the recruiting system works. The battle system in Legendary is done with very similar. You have recruit points, you have attack points in your opening hand as well. Attack points work the same way recruit points does, only they're used to attack cards and not recruit things. So what do you attack in this game? Well, you attack villains, obviously. So our Mastermind has a 12 here. He's a pretty big villain number. We can't attack him just quite yet, but we have 4 attack points, 1, 2, 3, 4, signified by a little slashy symbol. Makes sense. Some of the smaller villains have lower cost attack, so we'd be able to attack a henchman here, which are the Magia goons. We'd be able to attack them for 4. They go into a victory pile. They never go into a discard deck. They never clog it up. But every villain you attack in this game, including the Mastermind, has victory points. And victory points are how you win this game. Once you defeat the Mastermind 4 times, then you add up all the points that you have as a player and determine who is the biggest victor at the table. So that's kind of an overview of Legendary, man. There's some other card types. We have bystanders. Those are like basically civilians that you rescue throughout the game, and you have wounds. Wounds are there to clog you up, slow you down. There's a ton of card effects in the game, a lot of different stuff going on, so it's kind of an overview, man. I hope that was good enough for your players out there.